Hello YouTube! This is my second long form video. I gotta say I'm still learning, but let's get to it. So today I want to discuss permanency and getting rid of stuff and actually keeping stuff and deciding what to keep and all that's been on my mind. So we're gonna recycle this. I'm walking with my wife who's in front of me, and yeah, so as you know, I'm running a bicycle marketplace, and that is for buying and selling used bikes, bike parts, helping people find bikes and bike parts to get their bikes going, helping people who are just starting out in their bicycle journey when they're, owning one of these lovely 4-ton coffins and they're looking to switch to a sustainable lifestyle, meet people in their neighborhood, learn what their community is all about. That's what I'm kind of doing. And one of the things that's relevant to this conversation, I'm thinking, is when I go around neighborhoods like this in the United States, especially in San Francisco, and I see on the corners a lot of used shit that's for sale. And so this keys me into the idea that people really want to be good. They innately want to sell stuff, get rid of stuff as sustainably as possible, and people ultimately understand that when you're throwing stuff away in a landfill, you're getting rid of stuff that you're getting rid of it prematurely and has a lot of life left in it. So the best thing for an item is usually not to actually recycle it, it's to have it go through multiple hands as many times as possible. And some stuff can do that indefinitely, like a good cast iron pan. A bicycle is actually more sustainable than a car, because a good bicycle, if you take care of it, you don't crash it, that can last you 70 years. A good car, by comparison, usually 10 years. If it's a nice old beat up Honda, maybe 20 years, So when you're taking things out of the market, the used market, by tossing them, they're basically dying, they're generating waste, they're generating pollution, and they're creating demand for the same thing having to be manufactured for the next person that wants the exact same thing. By comparison, if you are taking a thing and passing it around, you're short-circuiting that process. So that's what my marketplace is all about. It's called Sprocket. You can find it on the iOS, Android, and web. And if you do, please give it a rating. Appreciate it. So what I'm doing with YouTube is just trying to figure out what this medium is all about. And I'm on a whole bunch of different social networks, and they all work kind of differently. They all have different communities. And right now I'm kind of learning, thanks guy, I'm kind of learning what they're all about and what the benefits, pros and cons are of each one and how to post on each one. The thing that I'm sort of starting to see with YouTube as the world's #2 website on the planet is actually the feedback loop for my own cognition in posting to this platform, which is incredibly interesting, and I don't see that on almost any other platform that I'm using right now. So I wanted to kind of talk about not necessarily physical things, but digital things. I'm in the process of moving to Europe right now with my wife, and in fact, right now I have a whole bunch of digital I have files, I have videos, I have photos. I filled up both of my phones. I filled up most of my laptop. I actually have 3 laptops, kind of by accident. MacBook Air that I take to coffee shops. I have 2 MacBook Pros that I bought from work. And I need to consolidate and get rid of files. I don't want to store the files. There's also a risk with storing the files on hardware, like an external hard drive, because if that gets stolen, if it gets lost, if it gets broken, boom, there goes your data. I also have a PC. That PC has a hard drive, and I have put in a redundant array, but even that, I'm like, okay, so I have a redundant array, but if, not the most tech-savvy Windows user, but I believe there's encoding for Windows 10. So if those hard drives go, I have a redundant backup. But if I have the computer go, those hard drives might actually be coded to that motherboard, and I may or may not be able to recover that data. And that's on top of the fact that when I backed it up, I created duplicates of the data. So now I have separate drives within that computer with the same files, and I don't know which version is the latest version. So I kind of screwed myself on that a little bit. But the thing is, like, how to back up all that information. What is the best process for backing it all up? Should it be backed up? Like, I have hundreds of videos and screenshots of my app Sprocket, which people are downloading and using all over the world. And I have a lot of historical archives, right? Like, how shitty this app looked. What are the decisions that me and my team took to improve the design or functionality of that app? And I would like to back those up. To back them up, actually, one of the theories is to back them up to a social media presence. And there's this kind of thought that if they're backed up on my own drives, they're not as useful to me as if people are actually viewing them, appreciating them, liking them, discussing them. So I kind of want to back them up to Facebook and Pinterest. You know, in the videos, backing them up to like YouTube and Instagram and a couple of other platforms. But I really don't have the time, so they're just sitting there. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, throughout my life, we've moved from this world where things were not digital and things didn't exist on the internet. And now things exist predominantly and exclusively on the internet, and the internet is also kind of merging with the physical world. So I have this want and need to preserve information and not to just delete it all. And I'm finding it a little difficult to do that. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of thinking through how you back up your digital existence in the digital domain. And I think it's not that dissimilar to kind of the want people have to back up physical things and keep physical things in circulation in the physical community. So what the solution is, I'm not entirely sure. Kind of what I've been doing right now is trying to take the problem of all these files and break it up into different types of files so that the problem is more bite-sized and solve those things individually. So for example, I had a bunch of images and I had a bunch of videos, and the videos are taking up more space. So I've been going through and posting a lot of the videos, and that's where you're seeing a bunch of random stuff on this channel. It's because I'm simply trying to get them off my hard drive onto the internet as quickly as possible. But even then, when I'm doing that, I have a lot of stuff that's on the drives for those phones. So I'm constantly disabling, re-enabling, and clearing apps on my device just to be able to use the devices. And I'm sometimes unable to take new videos of things I want to share with the world, or photos, because my phone drives are so full. Anyway, so to that extent, I've broken up different categories of stuff into chunks, and I'm going through different categories of stuff and trying to back them up or offload them. But I think eventually I'm going to need to just sit down and back up stuff physically to my external drive, and go through and back up stuff to the internet off that external drive, and delete it completely off my devices to free up space. And I think when talking about physical goods, people need a set of solutions to do that for physical goods. You want to sell your items, you want to circulate them in the community, but there are different marketplaces that are good for different things. So people just get, in general, overwhelmed. And instead of doing this, they just toss things in the trash. So there's a long way to go. And I hope that we get there. But it's not clear this day and age how we're going to do that, because the internet is fragmented. Marketplaces are fragmented, social networks are fragmented, and everything is kind of all over the place. Well, I'm seeing kind of a pattern of that stuff coalescing over time. Hey Noel, can I give you the watch to recycle? Whoop. Okay, one watch. Series 3. So I think we're gonna figure out how to have something like a unified process for selling used goods in a more efficient way that we don't have today. And in the same manner, I think we're going to have a unified way of doing social networking, where all these different icons that represent different databases and different social networks may, in fact, in the future, represent more of a federated social media space where the data actually lives on a protocol and you post to it from all these different apps in different ways, and you read different stuff from these apps in different ways, but it actually lives in a kind of a singular space. How that's going to work, I think we're trying to figure it out, and I think that's a really exciting future, and I'm excited to be a part of at least the used stuff part of it with bicycles. But I'm not sure exactly how to do it, and I'm trying to figure it out. So with our app, kind of the path we're taking with Sprocket is more of a decentralized path, and in that world we have a marketplace where you sign in with different providers. You don't ever store a password with us, and you chat through different providers and you pay with different providers external to us, so we're not even a payment processor. And I hope that as the future progresses, we have more and more companies making it easier and easier to sell stuff, not harder and harder, so that used stuff doesn't continue to pile up on street corners. And in the same way as kind of my photos and videos are piling up on my computer. Well, we're here at the coffee shop we're going to, so that's going to be this video. Ciao, I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments. Bye.